Okay, this is my attempt at being a good YouTuber. I brought up in a previous video that I would make a video on the stories that I wrote as a kid and I would read them, and guess what? Someone actually suggested it! Reaching a certain amount of subscribers is one thing, and I'm so thankful for all of you that have subscribed to my channel and become part of the introverted writing community, but making good content and actually having someone in that group, like, ask you to do something that you suggested is an amazing feeling. Alright, so this is gonna be me reading my books to you, starting with the first one in the series. Oh yes, and also, hello there! Welcome back to my channel. You may call me Miss Introvert, and today, you know what we're doing. We're going to be reading my books that I wrote when I was like 8 years old. I'm so nervous, guys. I've never shown these to anyone outside the family before, and I haven't read them in a long time. I've read them before, and I remember being pleasantly and horribly surprised at what I read, but see what happens this time. Because you guys suggested it, so I gotta bring the content, right? Right. And if this amounts to anything, I'll keep making the videos. If it amounts to nothing, then it's probably for the best. This is the last of my books that you see, but we'll see what happens, like I said. Just a warning, some of the illustrations are terrible, and I might not be able to interpret all of my handwriting that I made back then. Not that it's any better now. Maybe that was an artistic choice on my part, who knows. And this is where the script ends, because I had no idea what to expect from this video, so you will only see my genuine reactions. That's right, this isn't a scripted TikTok. This is a raw and emotional YouTube video, guys. I might cry. I might laugh uncontrollably. Who knows? I might go insane. Hopefully I can edit this later, because this is gonna be a long video. It was a long video. Also, if you want me to continue my story, hit that subscribe button and join the introverted writing community, and also take part in the historical event that will be part 2. And part 3, if this catches on. This is a series, so there could be a lot of parts to this. I could do 2 books in one video. 2 books in one video. Like, this is an entire series. I think it's like 3 series and 1 series. It's kind of like Star Wars. Then again, Star Wars has been a huge part of my inspiration, especially as a kid, because I watched it all the time. But you don't care about that. You want to hear about the books, don't you? I got you. Okay, we can put this away. Alright, here we go. Here is the cover. I don't know if you can see it that well. I don't think you can't look at this. Look at this face that I made. That's insane. Okay, so what's it called? Adventures? What is that? See, like my handwriting, it's terrible. Adventures lead the fairy. I ran out of room. Look at this. I ran out of room and I was just like, eh. What does that say? Adventures lead to fairy tales. Oh, it's called The Warrior Girl. So we have this, obviously, is The Warrior Girl. So I think what I was trying to do was kind of like one of those like Mulan things. Like on the cover of the cartoon, you see like one side of her is like the princess girl, the other side is like the soldier. So in this one, I have her like, I don't know, her soldier get up and then her orphan get up. And she's also holding her little dagger. It's by Bitsy Morgan, and it's illustrated by... fun fact, that's my real name. So like my old pen name, which is not my pen name anymore, was Bitsy Morgan, and I decided for some reason that my illustrator was also me, and I would get people totally confused, be like, oh my gosh, which one is it? And all that, and it's dumb, but it happened. It was gonna be a great success. And then we have 2 of the characters. You will find out who they are. And we have, ooh, who's this character? You'll find out who he is too. Little fact about how like gray this is. This was not an artistic choice, in fact. It could, she has a mustache. I think I drew her face like several times, and then every time I like discovered like a new way to like draw something, I would like go over the books again and like redraw it to make it look better, but it didn't work. It just looks worse now. And then we have a sea monster on top. And look at it, it's like doing one of those like, it's like about to like pull some kind of scheme. I think I got inspiration from like the Disney villains that just hovered over or were in like the background of the DVDs or like the VHS cases, and they're just scheming something. Alright, so we have our first copyright page, and then ooh, coming soon, like I said, book 2. Yeah, there is the dagger. It looks very dull. Chapter 1. We already made it. Okay, there's no pictures yet. I will show you the pictures though. One day, two girls were walking to a train because war was coming soon. That's a good reason. Their names were Susan and Cindy. So, you think these are the characters on the cover? They are, actually. I'll just tell you, you know what, it's fine. Okay, so Susan was always looking for something I spelled interesting with an A, interesting. And Cindy was always looking for someone to take care of them, for they were orphans. Whenever Susan saw a person that could maybe take care of them, she would ask for their names, and she would always be brave. On the other hand, I misspelled her name, Cindy would be shy and stay behind her sister, but sisters would have a good talent. Okay, that's weird. She was looking for someone to take care of them. Maybe Cindy was just like, hey, go and talk to that person. I think they could take care of us. Susan's like, I thought you wanted a person to take care of us. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go talk to them. I'm freaking shy, Susan. Go talk to them. Susan's talent was art, and she drew such beautiful paintings. Then Cindy's talent was swimming. I don't even think that swimming ever comes up in the book, but it's a fun fact about Cindy. She swims. We'll see, maybe it does. Hit subscribe. She had a knack of kicking and paddling. That's how you describe a talent, guys. They have a knack for it. I didn't even spell knack right. I forgot the silent K. Her sister knew how to swim, but I think I meant to say her sister knew how to swim but was not as good as her sister, and Cindy liked to draw, but she was not as good as her sister either. You would probably think that Susan or Cindy was the warrior girl, okay? Because we mentioned that in the cover, so we obviously want to tell the audience what's going on here. Well, they're not. But you'll learn more about her as we read this story. Okay, so like, that's cool, it's interactive, that's cool. There's stories like that. I think I took a lot of inspiration because I was still a kid from children's books. So there is like a lot of interaction in that, and I wanted to be like a good narrator. It works and sometimes it doesn't work. Susan was 10 and had brown hair and blue eyes. There's all those good descriptions. And so did her sister. And she was 5 going on 6, very specific. So one day, there were 2 girls, so I reiterate everything. One day there were 2 girls going to a train when all of a sudden it's not spelled, it's supposed to say robbers, but it says rovers. 2 robbers appeared. It doesn't say appeared, it says appeared. And stole their money. While the robbers were counting their money, a black figure is spelled wrong as well, appeared, and the robbers dropped their money. The figure unlocked the locks and gave them back their money, and then locked up the robbers, and it disappeared. So these are very rough drawings. So we have Susan and Cindy, they're locked up. We have these 2 guys who are counting their money. Man, I did not take the time to illustrate those guys. I was like, they're bad guys. They're extras. I don't need to take the time to illustrate them. Anyway, let's keep going. When the black figure was gone, the girls ran to their train station. It's supposed to say wondered, but it says woundered. They wondered who the black figure was. And that's the end of chapter 1. Hit subscribe to see more. I'm just kidding. We're totally continuing. Oh yeah, and on the back, I always put a mirror on it, and it said Mirror Girls for some reason. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So there's that. I think I wanted to make it look like it was like a company or something that was distributing these, but I guess that was just like my brand name at the time when I was like 8 or 9. So that's cool. I had a brand name, guys. Mirror Girls. Number 2. That day, the girls were just in time for the train to leave. It took a long time on the journey. Then the children were being taken on a boat, and then there was a beautiful girl with golden hair, and then she just appeared. The 2 girls recognized her for some reason. Whatever that means. Susan almost thought that it was the girl who had saved them. She's catching on to something, but you don't know that. You're just the audience. Cindy loved her golden hair. She's probably like, ooh, that's someone who could take care of us. The girl talked to all the children by, it's supposed to say encouraging, but it says encouraging, by encouraging them. Susan took Cindy's hand and led her to the girl. Hello, said Susan. I'm Susan, she said. Hello, said Susan. I'm Susan. I'm Paulina. There's no paragraph separation here. Take notes. That's not what you do. Who is your little sister? She asked. Cindy, introduce yourself, Susan whispered. But Cindy wasn't paying attention. She was too busy looking at her golden hair. She had never seen any kind of hair so beautiful. Paulina didn't seem... That's the sentence. Paulina didn't seem. When Cindy was done, she said her name. Do you think you could help us? Cindy asked. Sure I can, said the girl. After all, she loved to help people. She had helped a lot of people in her life. Okay, so here we have Paulina, golden hair as you can see, and then we have Susan and Cindy, and they're getting to know each other. That girl had brown eyes and golden hair, and she told them stories, for she loved to read. But she wouldn't look like the warrior girl. She had rags on her from head to toe, but she might be her. That's literally what it says. She might be her. Chapter 3. That night on the boat, while the 3 children were sleeping peacefully by the boat swaying, everything was going wonderful. Paulina read them a book, and it was about a little girl who always loved her family, that she smiled every day. Sometimes she would tell them stories instead of reading. With the thought of smiling and thinking about a family, they felt that this was going to be a good night. Suddenly, the boat started to sway fast and faster until it woke everyone up. There was a storm going on. And what does that say? And then Susan said, "Could this night get any worse?" But it was worse. Narrator talk again. For the worst thing in a storm happened. A sea monster came. Okay, I hesitate to show you this. Okay, so here's a boat. Here's the sea monster. He looks like he's about to just pick it up and yeet it somewhere. I don't know what this is. What is this, a propeller? It looks more like a submarine that just came up from the water. The beast was hideous. Paulina noticed her time was coming and took the magic sword from her belt from a box. I thought it was a dagger. It looks more like a dagger on the cover, right? Yeah, I think so. At that moment, a glowing light, which was the sword, killed the beast. It drove away fast, wondering what had happened to the beast. Chapter 4. Everyone was trembling, and the children were terrified. It says terrified. Paulina quickly put away her sword that had killed the beast. It was a good thing the storm was over. Paulina put all the children to bed. She did love to help out. She promised them that there would not be another one of those sea beasts and went to bed herself. The other 3 girls forgot the thought of smiling and asked Paulina to read them the story again. After, one child asked about what did she think happened to the sea beast. A few more voices repeated. That's not how you spell it. Then she answered, "I don't know." There's no silent W in the answered that I spelled. I don't know. But we don't need to worry about that right now. All you should be thinking about is smiling. That sounds a little bit creepy. All you should be thinking about is smiling. Like one of those like really morbid advertisements that like encourages positivity, but it's really like, are you sure about that? The children agreed, and they knew about nightmares. They especially knew about them after Paulina told them a story about how she had a nightmare and a scary story she was telling them once. So they didn't worry about it. I don't know what that paragraph was, if you could even call it that. They all hoped to have a night's sleep. I'm confused. Oh well. So here we have another picture. So every chapter has a picture. So here we have a picture of Paulina. She's reading her book. What is this? That's a fire. And then we have all the kids, and they're all listening. I think some of the kids I illustrated to have like eyes and stuff, but some of them just look like what is this? Like he has like one eye. What is that? I don't know. Chapter 5. The boat had just finished its trip. There was an orphanage. Wait, what? She was too old. How old is she? Maybe it was one of those like really specific age group orphanages. I feel like that's not a thing. Okay, well, the boat had finished its trip. There was an orphanage and Paulina promised to stay with the 2 girls, but Paulina was too old to go, so the 3 girls escaped to a shelter. At the shelter, Paulina knew that she just couldn't keep her secret anymore, so she revealed it. Under what grounds could she not keep her secret? She was just like, I can't contain myself anymore. "Susan, I'm the one who killed the sea beast," she said. Susan gasped. "Are you the one who saved me and Cindy the night the robbers captured us?" she asked. "Yes, I did. I have the magic sword that had killed the beast. My rags are my disguise." Disguise is spelled wrong, she said. Susan hugged her unexpectedly. "Thank you," she said. And she told Cindy about it, and she thanked her too. That night, Paulina told a story to Cindy and Susan, and they loved it. It was about a princess who lived in a tower and her fake and bossy mother who never let her outside. That sounds familiar. I think that Tangled probably came out right around this time that I wrote this, so inspiration intake, you guys. One day, when she left, her prince came, and they all lived happily ever after. Not the best stories, but here we have Paulina. She's reading the story about the prince and the princess, and there's some scribbles for words. Where does she get these books? And then we have Susan and Cindy as just heads. Somehow she's bigger than them. even though that's a weird proximity. When she tucked them in, Cindy asked, "Paulina, will I ever become a hero like you?" "Maybe," she said, and went to bed. What? You fell down again. She said, maybe you will. I doubt it, though. I bet I thought of it as more like, maybe. That still sounds condescending. Chapter 6. Okay. The girls started to travel the next day. They had money to buy food. I don't know how. They didn't mention a thing about Paulina, so if anybody asked, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the warrior girl, would you?" And they'd just be like, "Heck no, how do you even know what that is, man?" That night, the girls slept in a house that a woman let them sleep in. Before Paulina could tell them a story, Cindy asked, "How did you get your beauty and your bravery?" "Well, if you want to hear a different story, you can." The girls wanted to hear about it, so she told it. "My mother was beautiful." What? "In fact, she was beautiful that she glowed and had wings." I think I'm going to say, in fact, she was so beautiful that she could glow and she had wings. "Mother died when I was born, aw. And my father was brave, and he had the sword that killed the beast. In fact, my sword is a magic sword. My father died in a battle, though, and told a knight to give me the sword. So that's how I got my bravery and my beauty." And here we go. Oh my gosh, the dad looks... Ugh. Okay. Here we have Paulina. I'm hesitating to show you. Here we have the mom, who's apparently a fairy queen, and she's glowing. And then we have the dad. Look at this man. Look at that smile. That's the thing. "I'm sorry for you," Susan said. "It's all right. I do my best helping," said Paulina, and then went to bed. These are very short and abrupt conversations they have. Susan's just like, "Can I do anything?" Where she said, "Nope, I'm gonna go to bed." Chapter 7. The next morning, they got meals from the woman who had let them stay at her house. For breakfast, they had oatmeal in a grassy field. They were traveling to where Paulina lived. They had to travel across the sea. A young man let them use his boat because he was going to get a new one. They traveled across the sea for 4 days and 4 nights, and Paulina read them stories every night, and they always went to sleep peacefully by the rocking of the waves. Every night, they just go to sleep. "Will I become a hero? Maybe." "Go to sleep." "I'm sorry for you." "Yeah, go to sleep." One night, the green fumes were coming. That meant the sea beast was coming. I guess now we know that. He scared the 3 girls of how tall he was. She's using her sword. She tried to do something, like stab him or something that would kill it, but she couldn't, and the beast captured them all. She tried to stab it or something. It's like I'm trying to just vouch for her, like, oh, she tried. Dude, why does this keep falling down? And now Topsy's just tilting his head, he's just as confused as I am with this book. Chapter 8. Almost done with this book, guys. The 3 girls were terrified, and Paulina wondered why she couldn't kill the beast. The sea beast swam to a volcano. Okay, so this is also inspiration from a kids show that I'm sure you all know of, How to Train Your Dragon. Great movie. But remember the scene where Hiccup and Astrid and Toothless fly to that dragon nest that kind of is just a volcano? That's probably where I got this from, this inspiration. So there you go. That's where he lived, the volcano. Dragon that had spikes and horns and beastly birds. Ow. There's little staples in here that keep scraping my fingers. This is a dangerous book. That had deadly wings and giants that were 9 feet taller than the sea beast. That's those tall giants. Other sea beasts lived there with the other green fumes that were circling around them. There were also many other horrible things there too. They said the human must become their slaves. They would eat them. Guess not. An old dragon was a slave, but he was more humble than the rest of them. Why Paulina couldn't stab the sea beast because the diamond of the volcano has become stronger. Oh, he explained. Okay, so he's explained to Paulina, oh, you can't do it because the diamond of the volcano, which is now part of the plot, has become stronger, and if someone broke it, every bad thing in the volcano would die. So here we have the sea beast showing off he's captured these humans, and here's, what is this? I don't even know. Paulina had an idea! That night, while everyone was asleep, she crept up to the powerful diamond that apparently wasn't guarded and found a stone and shattered it. The powers were dashing everywhere, and every power stream made a beast disappear. So the diamond works for and against these guys, apparently. And the 3 girls got out of the dreadful volcano. Chapter 9, last chapter. The girls couldn't find their boat, so the humble dragon rowed them to where Paulina lived. There was a castle and a king and a queen who allowed them to stay in the kingdom. The girls had a lovely supper. The king and queen almost thought Paulina was the old queen who was Paulina's mother. Apparently that's a thing. But she told them that she was her daughter. They introduced the humble dragon to the king and queen. It was Cindy's idea, of course. The king thought the dragon could be of good use for a battle. He was just enslaved. Give the poor dragon a break. And the queen thought it could be a very protective guard for the whole kingdom. So here we have the dragon, and then we have, I guess, Cindy, because it was her idea. And we have the queen and the king. And they're like, hey, yeah, let's do it. And last page. The girl decided to become sisters in the kingdom. The two girls asked if they could be heroes now, but that's for another story. I bet Paulina was just like, nope, go to bed. Or maybe go to bed. So yeah, the end. That's my book. That's my first book. So I guess what just dropped? I don't know. So I guess subscribe for a part 2. Turn on the post notifications if you want to see another video. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some laughs out of this. I certainly did. Comment down below what your favorite memories of writing throughout your childhood were, if you did, or if you're just starting to write now. Welcome to my channel. I hope I can help you in whatever way I can. And thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, check out my blog, and find the writing help you need on my Fiverr account. All the links will be in the description below. And stay basic. Okay, bye!